share that how's your organization leveraging on apprenticeships?
So thank you, Sumit, for your wonderful opening session that you introduced us, and also for giving us an opportunity through this platform to share our views. So with regard to your pertinent question of how are we leveraging on this apprentices, I would say that, it's one of the areas where you get an opportunity to do a talent development for your future pipeline. And also, it's one of your ways you kind of give back to the society. And how, I would just add on a line to that, that you are not only creating an employment opportunity for the society by hiring these apprentices, but also by training them, you are increasing and enhancing their employability. And in a way, you are giving opportunity to the more unprivileged part of the society to come into the mainstream, to join this force, and also to do better in life when they have completed their apprenticeship program. Because as it says, it also involves and inculcates a lot of learning and development throughout the whole process, which the apprentices go through, and it's also called on-job training. So in a way, you are training them, getting them future ready, and at the same time creating an employment opportunity for the society. And what you are also doing is not only that you are doing for yourself, but also for your peers, other industry members. That people, let's say, who was interned or who was done their apprentices with your organization, or let's say our organization, and it's not that they get 100% absorbed with us. So those trained manpower, those resources can be then utilized by other peers in the industry. So this is a few things that I can think of and how we leverage at Dixon. So over to you, sir.
Far, what we have been driving, or I have been looking at or driving through this skill building approach. So the way I look at it is the apprenticeship in isolation is not nothing, but when it gets integrated with overall philosophy of how do I create a skilled society, that is where I think it goes beyond the boundaries of your organizational purpose and your very much localized objective. So it is about, if you look at the skill of the society as a skill center, like the pyramid in the society is a bottom the pyramid that needs more encouragement and more opportunity for employability, and at the same time it's a win-win situation. So the way we have looked at it is what is it which will help us to create a win-win situation both for the organization, because end of the day organization is supposed to make profit, right? So unless that happens, we are not in a business and we will not be able to entertain any engagement or employment. So that's one part of it. The second part is that how do I contribute more aggressively and more constructively to encourage this skill building. So interestingly, what we have been doing is in fast companies that I have worked for, we have created a very focused approach towards hiring some of the group, and fully knowing that it is a group which is also prone to high attrition. So it's not like if you have hired 100, end of 1 year or 9 months or 12 months, you will remain with 100. It start depleting. So by the same time, that's the fun part of it, because one, that hiring apprentice is quite easy, that you can tie up or you can look around the area that your plant or operations are. At the same time, retaining them becomes difficult after 6 months, 7 months, when they come to know, from nowhere to the test of corporate life and what happens here. I think that also helps them to aspire for more. And that is where I think one of the reasons for attrition that happens post the training period or post the apprenticeship period. But as a corporate, we are all fine, because even in regular employment also you have 15-20% attrition. So if this is a little bit more than that, that's fine. So the areas, it's important to understand that in a manufacturing location, manufacturing industry, whether it's a pharma where I am today, or whether it was tire industry where I was earlier, or even your oil and gas or hardcore pipe manufacturing. On the shop floor, the requirement of apprentice is one driven by the compliance with the law, which is Apprenticeship Act. At the same time, beyond that, what is that I want to create some kind of entry for these kind of people who can be my future technician or my future shop floor in charge or supervisors. So like you said, it is like investing in equity, but we also need to be careful that which equity I'm investing in. So and this requires more time to remain in.
So I think so, most of the threads for why apprenticeship thing works for companies, works for people and all, I think so is well covered by Ashish and Rajiv. I'll just give you a brief about Duraflex. So we are a 60-year-old organization, started from Kerala. Now we are a national brand. And in 60 years, we never engaged apprentices in any of the trades. And that maybe we will come back to in terms of what needs to be done in order to make people know that there is a beautiful program available for the society, for the employers, for the candidates. We'll talk about it a little later. But yeah, it is like the first batch is getting into Duraflex around this time of the year. And the reason behind was like, first it was a surprise, like, oh, you didn't have this. So that is why I'm talking about more from my personal story, because Rajiv and Ashish have covered most of it. So my personal thing was like, why we don't do it? And then it was like, we never knew about it. So it is like, okay. So my first experience when I started my career journey, it was with a beautiful organization, Cadbury's. It was known by Cadbury's at that particular time. Now it is Mondelez. So, it was regular practice in the factories to hire apprentices. So that was one. And then it is like in another organization, we always hired people who actually have come out of the apprentice program. And both these companies did quite well when we were actually giving the first employment, or we were the second choice after they complete their courses. And this basically worked well. And that gave me a confidence, like, why not here? And all the other reasons, like talent crunch is already a hot topic, in terms of a win-win, a CSR approach, everything around that just made it a right recipe for us to go ahead.
Great. And how do you intend to leverage this? Like, what's your
Right. So we are very labor intensive organization, like in terms of the sector that we come up with. It is not so much of a technical skills or very rocket science. It is quite a simple process driven thing, and where people are more important in terms of, because there is a lot of pushing, pasting, gluing, all those, which is like just to do with your hands. And this, we are open to get youngsters who have high physical energy. They can be semi-literate as well, and they work wonder for our company. So this way we intend to leverage on getting talent at a very short call, because we go by the seasonal ins and outs, like, the high seasons of high demand, and then it tapers down. So this program works quite well for us. We are in zones which are highly industrialized. So Hosur, for example, most of like in Tamil Nadu, it is a highly industrialized cities. So, getting talent is quite a difficult task. So again, like getting apprentices to get started over there, it just works for us.